Throughout history, there have been moments of unspeakable violence that have left an indelible mark on the world. Moments when acts of terror not only claimed innocent lives but shook entire nations and reshaped the course of history. This video dives into some of the world's worst terror attacks. Events that struck fear into the hearts of millions, led to massive loss of life, and forever altered the societies affected.
I lost 22 of my friends. I lost a man who I loved dearly.
The Beslan School Siege, one of the deadliest hostage situations in recent history, began on September 1, 2004 in the Russian town of Beslan.
We were standing next to the school gates. I saw 3 people running in with machine guns. At first I thought it was a joke. Then they began shooting into the air, and I ran away.
Armed Chechen and English fighters took over school number 1 on the first day of classes, capturing more than 1,100 hostages, including over 770 children. For 3 days, the hostages were held under terrible conditions in the school gym, which was filled with bombs. Efforts to negotiate failed, as the attackers demanded that Russian forces leave Chechnya. On September 3rd, 2 explosions went off inside the gym, leading to a chaotic rescue attempt by Russian forces. This resulted in a violent clash, parts of the building collapsing, and many casualties. Over 330 people died, including 186 children. The tragedy deeply affected the nation, causing public anger and a review of Russian security methods. Today, a memorial stands at the school to honor those who died, and to remind everyone of the lasting impact of such a tragedy and the strength of those who survived. The Mumbai attacks of 2008 were a series of coordinated terrorist strikes that occurred across multiple locations in Mumbai, India, from November 26 to November 29, 2008, carried out by 10 members of the Pakistan-based militant group Lashkar-e-Taiba. The attacks targeted high-profile sites throughout the city, including the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, the Oberoi Trident Hotel, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus Railway Station, and a Jewish community center known as Nariman House. For nearly 3 days, the terrorists held parts of the city under siege. Armed with automatic weapons, grenades and explosives, they unleashed gunfire and detonated bombs, creating widespread fear and chaos. The attacks led to intense firefights between the militants and Indian security forces, including local police and special forces, brought in to end the violence. In the end, 166 people were killed, including 18 security personnel, and over 300 were injured. Among the dead were Indian citizens as well as foreign nationals. The attacks exposed significant weaknesses in India's security and highlighted the global nature of terrorist threats. The lone surviving attacker Ajmal Kasab was captured by police, and his testimony provided critical information about the planning and execution of the attacks. The events strained India-Pakistan relations and led to international condemnation of Lashkar-e-Taiba and its operations. In response, India strengthened its counter-terrorism strategies, introducing new security measures and intelligence-sharing protocols to prevent future attacks. Today, memorials and tributes honor those who lost their lives, and the events of 26/11 are remembered as one of the darkest days in Mumbai's history. The 9/11 attacks were a series of coordinated terrorist events carried out by 19 members of Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden. On the morning of September 11, 2001, the attackers hijacked 4 passenger planes departing from the U.S. East Coast. These events unfolded over several hours and profoundly impacted the United States and the world. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. At 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower. The collisions caused massive fires, leading to the collapse of the South Tower at 9:59 a.m. and the North Tower at 10:28 a.m. The destruction resulted in widespread devastation in Lower Manhattan and killed over 2,750 people, including office workers, first responders, and those on the planes. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, the U.S. Department of Defense headquarters in Arlington, Virginia. The impact killed 184 people, including military personnel, civilians, and passengers on board. The fourth plane, United Airlines Flight 93, was hijacked and believed to be targeting a significant government building, possibly the U.S. Capitol or the White House. Passengers aware of the earlier attacks through phone calls heroically fought back against the hijackers. The plane crashed in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, at 10:03 a.m., killing all 44 people on board but preventing further devastation. The attacks killed 2,977 people and injured over 6,000 others. They caused an estimated $10 billion in property damage and had lasting health effects for survivors and first responders due to toxic dust exposure. The attacks were planned by al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, who cited U.S. foreign policies in the Middle East as justification. This led to a global manhunt, culminating in bin Laden's death in 2011 during a U.S. Navy SEAL operation in Pakistan. The 9/11 attacks remain one of the most defining moments in modern history, symbolizing a profound national and global tragedy while reshaping geopolitics, security policies, and international relations.